All right, let's jump right in. We're about to take a guided tour through one of the most wild, visually stunning, and symbolically packed books ever written, the Book of Revelation. My advice? Try to forget everything you think you know about it. We're going straight to the source to see the story it actually tells, frame by spectacular frame. So our story all starts with this guy, John. And he's not in some grand temple or palace, nope. He's in exile, stuck on this remote little island called Patmos. It's right here, in this total isolation, that something incredible happens. He hears a voice behind him, a voice so loud and clear it's like a trumpet blast, kicking off a vision that's going to span the entire cosmos. And John isn't just, watching a movie here. He's not a passive observer. Right away, he's given a job, a commission. He is commanded to be a scribe for the heavens, to write down every single thing he's about to see. And the very first figure John lays eyes on is, well, it's breathtaking. But this isn't some soft, gentle image. It's powerful, almost terrifying. Hair as white as snow, eyes like a blazing fire, and get this, a sharp, two-edged sword coming out of his mouth. Every single detail here is designed to scream overwhelming power and authority. John also sees this figure holding 7 stars in his hand and standing in the middle of 7 golden candlesticks. So right off the bat, the vision is throwing these strange symbols at us. And you've got to be asking, what in the world do they mean? Is this some riddle we're supposed to figure out on our own?
Actually, no. The text itself gives us the answer key, and this is so crucial for understanding how Revelation works. A lot of the time, it's its own dictionary. The voice tells John straight up, the 7 stars are the angels, or maybe messengers, of 7 specific churches, and the 7 candlesticks are those 7 churches. Mystery solved. Just like that.
Okay, so now the camera suddenly pulls way back. We leave John on his little island and get yanked into the throne room of the entire universe. This is the Cosmic Control Center. So in this throne room, there's a central figure, surrounded by 24 elders and these incredible winged creatures. And in the hand of the one on the throne is a scroll, sealed tight with 7 seals. And this is where we hit our first huge crisis. An angel booms out this question to the entire cosmos. Who is worthy to open this scroll? And the answer that comes back? Silence. No one. Not in heaven, not on earth, not anywhere. The whole plan of history has just ground to a halt. And John, our narrator, just breaks down and weeps. But then, a new character walks onto the stage. A lamb. And it looks like it had been slain. This right here is the central logic of the entire book. The hero of this story, the one who is worthy, doesn't get there through raw, conquering power. He's worthy because of sacrifice. The second the lamb takes that scroll, the whole of heaven just erupts in this massive song, shouting, "You are worthy because you were slain." So as the lamb starts breaking open those seals, judgment just pours out in this unforgettable sequence. Out ride the 4 horsemen, these ancient symbols for all the horrors that plague humanity. First, a white horse, conquest. Then a fiery red horse, war and bloodshed. Then a black horse carrying scales, famine. And finally, a pale horse, and its rider is named Death himself, with hell riding right behind him. It is just a cascade of pure devastation. And it just keeps escalating. The 5th seal is opened, and it reveals the souls of martyrs, people who were killed for their beliefs, and they're under God's altar crying out for justice. And then the 6th seal, and it's just total cosmic collapse. A massive earthquake, the sun goes black, the moon turns the color of blood, and stars fall out of the sky. The most powerful people on earth are hiding in caves, begging for the mountains to fall on them. But all this chaos on earth, turns out, it's just one front in a much, much larger war. The vision now shifts to reveal the bad guys, the cosmic powers who are really pulling the strings behind all this conflict. And here he is. The main villain of the story appears in heaven, a great fiery red dragon. The book doesn't leave you guessing who this is. It says it right out. This is that old serpent called the devil and Satan. A war breaks out right there in heaven, and the dragon and his angels lose. They're thrown down to the earth. So now the dragon's stuck on earth, and he needs a henchman, an agent, to do his dirty work. And boy, does he get one. A monstrous beast comes rising out of the sea. It's like this horrifying mashup of a leopard, a bear, and a lion. And the dragon gives this beast his power, his throne, his authority, everything. This beast then goes on a rampage, blaspheming God and making war against the saints, which is the book's term for God's faithful followers. And he's not working alone. A second beast comes up, but this one's from the earth. And it's tricky. It looks like a lamb, but it speaks like a dragon. You can think of him as the first beast's propaganda minister. He performs incredible miracles to trick people, and he forces everyone to worship that first beast. And it's this second guy who makes everybody get a mark.
And this, of course, brings us to one of the most famous or maybe infamous symbols in the entire book. The text presents it like a puzzle. It says, "Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast." It tells us the number is 666, and that it's the number of a man, which has sparked, just a few centuries of speculation.
So after this unholy trinity of the dragon and the two beasts shows up, the judgments just go into overdrive. It's a relentless storm. First you have 7 trumpets that sound, bringing plagues like hail and fire. A star named Wormwood falls from the sky and poisons the water. The cosmos itself gets wounded, with the sun, moon, and stars all going dark. Then, after the trumpets, 7 angels pour out 7 vials of God's wrath, causing sores, turning the sea to blood, and scorching the planet. This whole sequence builds and builds until the river Euphrates dries up to make way for a final massive battle at a place called Armageddon.
Okay, so after all of that conflict, all the chaos, all the judgment, the whole narrative makes a huge pivot. We're now moving toward the end game, the ultimate resolution of this cosmic drama.
First things first, the great symbol of corrupt, worldly power, a city that book calls Babylon the Great, has to go down. It's described as a harlot, dressed in purple and scarlet, drunk on the blood of the saints. And her destruction isn't a slow decline, it's sudden, it's total. The text says, "In 1 hour your judgment has come."
And this is just a brilliant use of contrast. Out of the ashes of the corrupt city, Babylon, a new one rises, the New Jerusalem. And look at the difference. Where Babylon was the harlot, the New Jerusalem is the bride of the Lamb. Where one was dressed in scarlet and drunk on blood, the other is in clean, white linen. One collapses in an hour, the other is built to last forever.
So with Babylon fallen, it is time for the final confrontation. Heaven itself opens up and a warrior king appears on a white horse. His name is the Word of God, and he's got a title written right on his thigh, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The beast and the false prophet are captured and, just like that, thrown into a lake of fire.
After the dragon's final defeat and one last judgment scene at a great white throne, the ultimate renewal happens, and John puts it so simply. "I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away." This isn't a renovation, it's a complete cosmic reset.
And into this brand new creation comes the holy city, the New Jerusalem. And the description is beautiful, focusing on everything that's gone. No more death, no more sorrow, no more crying, no more pain. And what's there now is just radically different. There's no temple because God and the Lamb are right there. You don't need a sun or a moon because the glory of God is the light. It's just a vision of perfect peace and God's unfiltered presence.
The entire epic vision, from that lonely island of Patmos all the way to the New Jerusalem, it all ends with this one last, direct promise from the voice that started it all. "Surely I come quickly." It takes the massive, cosmic scale of the story and brings it right back down to a personal, urgent declaration.
So, after this absolutely breathtaking tour of cosmic war and ultimate renewal, what's the real message here? Is this a detailed, cryptic roadmap of the future? Or is it a story meant to give overwhelming hope to people who are suffering? A story that says, despite all the terrifying beasts and corrupt powers in the world, the final victory doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the slain lamb? That's the question Revelation leaves ringing in our ears.